What's everybody? Welcome to Flux Harmonic. I'm David Wilson, and we're back again today with another instance of our streaming on the GitHub GameOff 2022 Game Development Jam competition. I know I always say it the same way. Where we are going to continue our work on a 2D platformer game written in a language that I'm working on called Mesh, which is basically Scheme, but it's my own implementation. And it's written in C. I've got my own sort of renderer and all the kinds of stuff that I'm using myself. So that's why a lot of times you'll see me in the streams struggling to make things work that should be simple. But that's part of the fun of it, I guess. We're just trying to figure things out live and see how far we can get. So this is the second day of streaming for this weekend. This is the second to last weekend. Next weekend is the last weekend entirely of the competition. So whatever I get done between today and the Saturday and Sunday next weekend is it. So we're going to try to see if we can implement some game mechanics today to at least get it feeling like it's a game. We're going to try to build out the world a little bit more, decide where we want to place the items that you're supposed to go find to pick up, and maybe just get the basic mechanics of picking up an item and bringing it back to the place where you have to gather all of the items that you're looking for to have a successful game, I guess. So it's going to be really rough and not so interesting from a gameplay perspective, but it will be fun to start building that out, I think. Where we left things from yesterday, what we did was we started creating a series of asset files for the different screens in the game. So if I call you back to the little mock-up I made in the GIMP, this is sort of the section of, or I guess a series of zones of the game. So you start off right here in this yellow square that maybe you can see my mouse pointing at. And then this is like one region of the game. It's sort of like a peaceful zone, easy to traverse. You sort of learn the basic game mechanics by walking around here. This is more like a cave that you can go to. You sort of go down from the side of this this part of the map, and then you have to sort of go through like a maze of some sort. Don't really know yet how that's going to go to finally make your way down to the sort of lava zone, or the more dangerous zone. And then there's also like a tech zone where maybe you have to do things like push buttons to open doors, or maybe find certain things that help you to make progress. So it might be a little bit more challenging from a platforming or strategy perspective. I don't know. We're not going to get that far in the composition. It's just an idea that I have that might be interesting to pursue. So we're going to try to, this is the area we've been working on. At least we've got the files created for it. And that's what I was going to point out here. In this folder, there's a series of text files that correlate to the locations of each of the cells that you see here. So this is like 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2. And those correspond to these files here. So the place the player starts is 3, 1, because I said it was going to be here in the middle on the top row. So this would be the map file for where the player starts. And then we're just going to try to build things out from there. Let me see if I can write down a couple of thoughts that I had for how the design will work for picking up the items. So finding the stones, or maybe placing the stones. I don't know. Maybe that's the way to say this. Each zone will have a stone you need to collect to bring back to the starting screen. Each stone will be placed in a specific location. It won't be randomly selected for now. Maybe later, who knows, just to make things a little bit more interesting. And then what else would I want to say about that? The game engine knows the location of all stones regardless of which map you're on. And the reason why is because if you press the listen button, I think it's K, then a sound should play to direct you toward the nearest stone. So when you press K, whatever stone is closest to you, using, I guess, a basic distance algorithm, you would hear a sound in that direction. Now, we don't have sounds yet. I didn't hook up a sound subsystem yet, but I do have an idea for how I want to do that. So maybe next week, if I have some time, I can do it. But then, you should be able to sort of find your way to where the stones are. So that's basically how I want to go about this. If we were to go pick some locations off of the mock-up I have here, I'm trying to think about what would be the most interesting places where these stones could be. So in this area, it really depends on how we design the map. It almost feels like, you start here. Maybe you can go to this left screen, but there's like barrier. You can't actually get to the screen here. Maybe the tile is on this screen or the stone is on this screen, but you have to like go down and below to get back up to it. So you have to kind of think about how you want to traverse the map a little bit. There's a lot of space here, and we're not really using it effectively. So who knows? Maybe we'll figure out something else to do with the other squares. But at least for now. Well, actually, I have another thought. Maybe there could be a door here that doesn't open until you've gathered the other stones. Maybe you can't get into this area unless you go all the way down and below. So, not sure the right way to do that, but maybe we'll think of some ideas as time goes on. Hey, Alejandro, nice to see you. So let's see what else. For this zone, maybe the stone could be up here in the corner, which means that maybe this one is. Yeah, maybe we should put the stone on this side for this area, because then you would start this direction. Maybe you would see that this door is closed, and then eventually you would have to venture back this way to find a place where you could go, and then you would get down into this area, and then maybe the way this area is designed, it doesn't just let you go straight over to the right. You actually have to go down and maybe follow a bit of a path. Like maybe start from here, you have to go this way down, and maybe around and then back up to find the stone. That seems like it could be more interesting than just, going straight there. Then you would have to take the stone all the way back up to put it here again. Same thing for here. You would have to find your way down to this area, and then this would be a very difficult platforming zone that might be dangerous. So we'll figure out some things to do for that. But I think that I like sort of that flow for this starting area. So maybe that's what we'll do. I will write those down. So locations for piece, it will be, whoops, this is going to be 5-1. Okay, and then for cave, it would be 1-1. For tech, we haven't really come up with that one yet. But probably right here. Let's just say they could be right there. And that would be, what is it? 1, 2, so it's 2, 3. Oops. And then in those screens, we would have to have a location where the stone would show up for that screen. And then in the lava zone, I keep using the wrong keys to get to the screen I'm looking for. Let's see. It could be down in the bottom corner, because you're going to end up going this way. Or maybe it could be here. Maybe you have to go around like this way to get to it in this square. So let's say this would be 1, 2, 3, 3, 1. Okay. Lava 3, 1. All right. So we've got some ideas on how we want to place these, or at least the screen we want them to be in. That's good. That's a good starting point. And now that we have that, we could start to put that into game code. So if I go back into game.msc, I could just have a data structure for that. Just a very simple thing. So let's see. Find stone locations. I'll make this a list. And it could be a list of the name of a map in the map file, like we had mentioned before. So if I pull that back up here, readme, So piece 5-1 could also be a const pair here with the location. So we don't know where that will be yet. I could just say, 3-3. I don't know. Let's make this a whole quoted list so we don't have to keep quoting things. This can be in cave 1-1. This can be in tech 2-3. This can be in lava 3-1. So that will give us the ability to figure out which direction the player should be moving in. Now that I think about that, a distance algorithm could be a little bit challenging because if you look at how the map is laid out, it's not the coordinate system of the individual rooms of a region does not correspond to the coordinate systems of the rooms of a different region. So that's kind of interesting. I wonder if I should use an actual two-dimensional coordinate system for all the places that you can be at so that it is obvious. It's kind of interesting. Let me think about that for a second. So, yeah. We'll start with this, and we will change things later if we have to, I think. I don't want to complicate things too much. So, in piece 5-1, maybe I should launch the game, and we can take a look at how we would like things to be. It would be nice to... Maybe we need to start working on tiles a little bit too, like do a little bit of graphics. So I'm going to install Asprite, since Ashras told me yesterday that Geeks finally has it. Geeks install Asprite. I've never installed it from here before, so I don't know how well it works. It's a little bit out of date, but it's not too bad. Wow, they wrote this with Allegro. That's some old stuff. Okay. Ah, not showing up here. That's weird. Does it start with capital A? Okay. Geeks profile /bin. It's there. Why didn't I show up in my path? Not gonna launch. That's weird. Let me try launching vterm. Actually, let's bash -L. There it is. Ah, finally. Okay, cool. So we have Asprite here. Interesting. Can't this be a window? Edit, preferences, screen scaling 200. Where's the theme? I want something darker than this. Really? Great, only the default. Hi, Jonathan. Jonathan says you could also include some hidden portals to travel around the world or find a hidden Easter egg. That's a good point. Yeah, do that. We'll definitely need something to make the game a bit more interesting once it actually works. Oof. Make this window bigger. Ah, okay. It's sort of taking care of itself there. I'm not really familiar with this app. I've used it a little bit, but not too much. I don't know why I can't resize the window. Like, even if I maximize it, it doesn't do anything. All right, let's just make a new file. All right, so I need to start implementing the idea of sprite sheets. So I don't know a good way to hide this thing. Maybe I'll put it on another screen, another interface. Sorry. Alejandro says such hidden portals could put you in the zone in the middle, a zone of unexplored darkness, and have switches to turn on the lights. Yeah, that's a great idea. Which screens do I have here? 3? Okay, so let me put this on number 3. I need to sketch out some more thoughts. No, read me. There we go. So, tile graphic design. So, we had talked about something yesterday with editing the maps. There's a certain number of tiles we have. So there's like, what is this? 9 different types of tiles that you start with, but probably there's more types of tiles as well that we need to draw up. But all we need at first is just sort of like the basic shapes. Tiles we need at first. I mean, if you want a more elaborate game, you're gonna have more than this, but this is just sort of like the basic world tiles. So internal wall tile, wall/ground tile, I guess you could say. Top left corner for sure. Top surface for walking. Top right corner, left wall, and by that I mean the wall is facing the player from the left. The wall is facing the player from the right. Bottom left corner, bottom surface, basically the ceiling. Then bottom right corner. So once we have these, we'll want some other stuff, but that's 9, right? 8, 9, okay. So we need 9 tiles. The size of the tiles that I have right now, I think are 64 by 64. So tile size is 64 by 64. For a sprite sheet, let's see. So 1024 divided by 64 is 16. So that's 16 wide, 16 tall. So if I were to have a tile image of, well, how many tiles would I want? So max tile amount. Let's see. Maybe 10 by 10? That's a lot. That's 100 tiles. I mean, that's way more than enough for, I guess, even all the tiles of the game. I mean, if I have to switch textures less often, then that's going to be useful. We can start with that. So 100, 10 by 10. In a tile graphic, which means that the tile graphic is 640 by 640, right? So that's what we'll do. We'll have a 640 by 640 image. Definitely RGBA. I mean, you could do index, but you have to have a palette. And palette could be cool, but 8 bits per pixel. Let's just go RGBA. That's what we have in the engine right now. Background. Yeah, let's go with transparent. Okay, and I think we can set up a grid, which would be really helpful for this. Grid settings, 64 by 64. Cool, that's awesome. Can I maximize this window, man? I need more space. All right, so I'm gonna go to format. Yeah, I want an a sprite file because I want to be able to edit this in the future. Projects, code, GGO. Okay. So we have a basic palette here. We can change the palette size. That's cool. Kind of like that. Just the zoom level. I don't really need the preview though. Why doesn't this get any bigger? I don't remember. Whoa. What did I just do? Thought I had some key bindings for resizing windows in Herbstuf, but apparently I don't. Or I just can't remember them. I don't know why it's not letting me resize it. We're gonna open a web page now. Great. And Qt Browser does not work very well in Geeks in the moment. You know, picking an existing palette is a good idea because I am not a color person. Needs a little bit of variety, I think. It's not too many. I mean, it probably should be, you know, that could work. That could work for now. Let's just try to do some stuff here. So for the, what's your problem here? For the peaceful zone, I think a green color would be appropriate. You do a little selection tool. I don't know if it works like this in Sprite, but we're gonna find out. I'm gonna put a little selection tool here and see if I can use maybe a fill bucket. Oh, rectangle tool, okay. Build rectangle, that works for me. Boom. So that's a tile. Is there a hotkey for turning the grid on and off? Shift G. Cool, nice. This is pretty useful. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of character here. I'm no good at this, but I'm just gonna try some stuff that makes sense to me. I said 200. Yo. There we go. Pixel size, huh? Oh, what happened? I didn't tell it to clear. What is ink? This is really horrible. Okay. I make this smaller. There we go. So that's pretty ugly, but that's fine. Maybe I should add a third color in to sort of give it a little bit of highlight. I'm still using the rectangle tool. That's funny. All right, I'll save this. Control S. Okay. So that's the first little tile, and I said I also needed a top left corner. So let's say if I copy this. And move it over here. Maybe I'll start with the... Wait, what's the deal here? Why does it seem... The grid seems a little bit off. We'll have to check it out later. All right. The corner. So if I were to add maybe a darker color on the sides, I could just have a rectangle tool here and no. Oh. Okay. It's giving me the outline at the same time. 1 pixel outline. I don't want it to be too big. Why is it escaping? So this is which position? 129, 128. Okay, that's 63. Okay, 64. That's right. I don't know why this green is here though. That's fine though. Then the same for the corner. Actually, what I need to do here, is there a transparent color, or I guess the eraser? Eraser tool. Whoa, that's way too big. 1 pixel. So for a corner, I would want it to have a little bit of a rounding effect. It looks like a corner. Yeah, with 2D lines, it doesn't work very well. I also need to probably pull that color in some too, so that it still looks like a corner, even though I'm... That's okay. Not great, but it's okay. So then I'll do the same thing on the other side. So if I use a rectangle tool, copy this. I can't simply just, maybe, is there a concept of layers in this thing? There must be layers. Probably right in front of my face too. Layer, right there. New layer. So this would be much easier. Layer 1 is going to be just the base. Just plop the same base down everywhere. Okay. And then in layer 2, I'm going to copy this whole thing. Cut it. Did you do it? Why can't I cut? Oh, wrong layer. Cut. Paste it in layer 2. Then also I will do a selection right here again. Copy that, go to layer 1. I'll hide layer 2 so I can see what I'm doing. And paste it over here. Okay. That was wrong. This is why I need the window to be bigger. I don't know what's going on with this. Wait a second. No, I think... Huh. I don't know what I'm looking at here. Anyway, trying to figure out if this the squares here are relative to the size of everything. Yeah, I'm something's going weird with this app, I think. The grid is not what I expect. So what is this location here? I must have done something wrong when I did use the rectangle tool. Because I think what I'm seeing here is a pixel that doesn't belong. Okay, so I think it's me making the mistakes, not the tool. All right, so now that seems to be lined up correctly. I also managed to lose part of the layer above here. I see a little bit of black line. Probably because the grid is being drawn right on top of it. So if I cut that, go back to layer 2, and paste. All right. Now that wall looks a little bit thick, but we'll deal with that later. Hello, Richard. This is Asprite. It's not a sprite. It's A-S-E Sprite. They say the word of the app somewhere. Asprite. Luckily, this is a paid tool, but there's a version of it that's built in Geeks, the Linux distribution that I use, so I was able to install it. But it's an older version, obviously. Okay, so let me chop off some stuff here because I obviously made a mistake before. I can't be in layer 2. Can it? Okay, that's definitely in layer 1. So going back up, that seems to be in the right zone. Are there like show pixel grid? What does that mean? I don't see anything like that. I would like for there to be like a crosshair. Anyway, the point is that I wanted to yeah. Okay, that's where we got to. All right, sorry folks. I'm still trying to figure this tool out. I literally just started using it right now. This thing needs to be bigger. Let me look that up. Asprite can't resize window Linux. Oh, nice, Richard. That's awesome. Okay, got a bug filed on this in 2014. Let's check that out. Ah, maybe I can just do that. I'm gonna close out the program. What? Oh, okay. Let's see if that actually does anything. Now it shows up? Okay. Cool, that worked. We need more space, so that's good enough, I think. Let's open up our file that we just worked on. Cool, cool, cool. Here we are. Now we should have some more space to do our job. Can I not type in the box? That's so strange, man. Cool. Now, I'll use the tool here. It's M. Okay, shortcut is M. I should start learning shortcuts because I think I'll be in this tool a lot. The more game stuff that I do. Copy. Go to layer 1. Paste. Hey, you know, I said copy. There we go. And now I want to go back to layer 2. Why is there another layer 1 on top? That was bizarre. I don't understand what happened. Somehow I managed to duplicate the layer. There we go. Now I'll unhide that. I wonder if I can paint like a transparent pixel up here, but I don't think I can. So I would basically have to edit the layer below. I'll tell you what I was trying to do. I was trying to save myself some time by being able to copy only the black bar part of this and flip it for the different orientations. I think I can probably just resize that selection whenever I have it. That's useful. All right, we trim that out. Now I'm going to try to copy this, paste it, then see if there's a way I could do like a horizontal flip. I see there's a pixel there that needs to be addressed. Rotate canvas. Flip canvas horizontal. Nope. I don't want to flip the whole canvas. I want the selection. Select. Modify. Okay. That's not what I wanted. Oops. Ah. Is that for the selection? Okay. Shift H. Excellent. For a tool that's meant for pixel art, you need things like that. Boom. Look at that. That's perfect. I was saying I needed the same similar thing for... All right, so top a surface, top right corner. I actually need to move this then, or copy it. Then I can just leave that surface part. So I'll copy this, paste it. Oh, did not intend for that. Nice. That must be the pixel grid it was talking about. Alejandro says, at this point, I think GIMP or Inkscape would be easier. Inkscape would not be easy for pixel art because it's a vector art tool. But this is a tool that's meant for pixel art. It just looks slow because I am not an expert on this tool. So that's the reason why it seems like it's taking me time to do things that ordinarily might be simple elsewhere. GIMP, yeah, sure, you can do stuff like this in GIMP, but... I'm not that interested in using GIMP because this thing could do like sprite animations and whatnot as well, which is kind of important when I need to animate a character running. So GIMP doesn't do things like that. All right, so I've got those corners. I'm going to cut this part off here because this is going to be the flat surface. And then this part I need to fill in. So I'm going to take the rectangle tool, select the right color, which I think is this one. Wait, let's just use the eyedropper. Where is eyedropper? Paint bucket. Okay, good to know. Can you tell me which color this is? Maybe it's that. We'll figure it out in a second. Okay, that seems right. And I think I was a little bit overzealous here, so I need to repair what I deleted there by accident. Okay, so now we're good. All right. I saved the file. So that's our upper surface. I also said I needed to have a left and right. If I can zoom back out again. I guess I could just use scroll wheel for this. Okay, cool. So left and right walls, and then this part flipped. So if I take this whole bit, actually, let's zoom in a bit more. I can see what I'm doing. We're going to copy that, and we're going to paste it and move it over a couple tiles. Zoom in more so I can see exactly where I'm lining things up. Right there. How do I scroll? Control? Alt? Oh, Alt is the eyedropper. That's cool. Okay, that seems fine. And then I need to select that and flip it vertically. So let's just select this whole bit again. And then there's edit, flip vertical, which is Shift V, and there we go. I also need to move it up slightly because the way that I selected that, it wasn't right. Okay, there we go. We have the bottom side now. And all I need to do is just go back to this layer and just copy these blocks. That was the whole reason of doing that. The layer bit is that now I can just do this copy paste across all the tiles. Okay, so it seems like I need to be inside of that grid line for it to work the way that I want it to. All right, so I copied there. Let's paste. Undo. I think it copied the whole layer when I did that. Okay, so it will paste wherever your mouse is. That's great. That doesn't look right. Oh, it does look right. Okay. This is going to be some really bad game art, but that's okay, you know? I am determined to learn how to do game art much better. But I'm not going to get there today, obviously. Okay, I also need to make some walls on this side, so I can probably just go up to layer 2 and copy this wall. And I said what the left wall, the wall is facing the player from the left, so let's move it over here. And then we'll paste it again and put it over here. And then I can take the rectangle tool with a filled rectangle and then just draw over this. All right, cool. So that should be enough to get started with. Not the greatest looking art. So with this, I should be able to make some shapes that look like a world that you can walk around in, I think. In the third tile at the top, it seems like you have a pixel overflow at the bottom. I do, you're right, because I was doing this wrong when I started. Cool, let's just go grab this, then bam. Okay. So I need to save as tiles.png. Can I export? Oh, export sprite sheet. Huh, interesting. I could have been doing all my tiles a different way. Is that what they're saying? It's an interesting thought. I would have to do this differently. Because what you actually do in Sprite is add animation frames. So if I added a frame here, we have frame 1, frame 2. Like on frame 2, I could go and delete. Let's just do this. I'm just going to delete just that whole section there. And if I go back to 1, then all the data is saved for all the layers. But when I move between the frames, you can see that it changes. So that would be a nice way to do some animations at some point for multiple frames. Sort of get an idea for how things look. This is the reason why you use a tool like this, is because you have more capability to very quickly do art. I'm not going to worry about the animation bit for now because I don't need that for this. Well, format PNG doesn't support. Oh, it already changed it to a PNG. I see. Save as ASC. Okay, so I've got my file back. Then I can do the save copy as PNG. Interesting. No, not ASC. I want PNG. There we go. Yeah, I know that. So what was it? Save copy as. Let's go take a look at what file we have there. Assets, tiles, tiles.png. Okay, there it is. Okay, so now let's see if we can actually draw the tiles. That's something we haven't tried to do yet, is take an image and draw it. And I don't even remember what the APIs are from Substratic, but we're gonna find out now. So if I go to source renderer, first of all, I need to find draw texture region. That's the one I want. And that one is called draw texture region internal. And I believe that's because I have a mesh function, draw texture region, which will allow me to draw what I need. So then before that, I need to load a texture load. And then let's go into, who should own this? Let's let screen own it for now. Substratic texture. And define tile texture is, what was it? Texture load. The file path would be assets/tiles/tiles.png. Okay. And then to draw, let's just draw the one tile. Where is it? Draw rect. So instead of doing draw rect here, we're going to draw a tile instead. Renderer, draw texture region. Is that what it was? Texture region. I really need code completions in here. Draw texture region. Renderer. XY. So basically the same as what we had before. X tile size. Oh, wait, hold on. Texture X, texture Y. Okay, so that's what we need to calculate. So X, Y times tile size. That's the screen position. The width is tile size. Height is tile size. Let me make sure I got the right. Oh, the tile size is 32. Okay, well, we got a little bit of a problem there, but I'll scale it down. I thought it was 64. All right, so tile size. And then the texture position. So let's have a function for that. Find tile index to texture boards. This needs to be wrapped. And index. So then we need to return a const pair of index by 10. We're just going to assume that it's 10 by 10 on the tiles for now. So it'd be divided by index 10. Wait a second. Plus the X value, right? There was another thing, screen to... Yeah, I need to go the opposite. There we go. I think that's it, right? Divided by Y is floor of position. Yeah. Divided by map width. So this needs to be here too. And that's, well, texture cores we should also multiply by tile size. So then that should give us the texture coordinates. And here in this let, we have X and Y. Wow. Okay, yeah, fine. Texture chords. Tile index. Texture chords. How do you animate a PNG? You don't. In video games, what you usually do is you save out an image just like this, where you have a big image where each frame of animation is its own little cell in this image, and then you load that one texture, and then you just choose which region of the image you're rendering based on which frame of animation it is. So I'm basically doing the same thing, but for drawing map tiles as well. So very, very common thing to have something called sprite sheets for that purpose. Let's see, render the tiles. What index? Oh, screen tile ref. So we don't even have the information. Yeah. I don't want to have to call that twice. I can't even call it twice. I would have to do a nested let, which is unfortunate for a render loop. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it the dumb way first, then we'll do it the better way. So index is, we also want to take this is equal 1 out. And then actually is greater than index 0. And then we'll move this texture chords bit. Ah, man. Yeah, that's not good. I don't want to have 4 nested lets because that's 4 different functions it has to pass through. It just seems very unfortunate if I have to do it that way. Maybe. Yeah, let's do it this way. Texture chords. False. And then inside this, we're just going to set the value. And that's the best thing we can do for now. Set texture chords to cores. Tile index to texture chords index. That's fine. Now we have the index. We need to check that the index is greater than 0. Zero. Render a draw region. We have that. Now we can get the car of the texture chords and the cutter of the texture chords. What else do we need for the render function? Just that. Scale and centered. I hadn't thought about scale yet, but we'll leave scale alone for the moment. Scale just throws everything off. No, actually, I don't have to do scale at all. It's done at a central location, so all right, I don't have to think about that. Well, we could try this out and see if it works. I'm skeptical that it's going to work first try, but yeah, who knows? Texture load. Something is null. I wonder if there's something else I need to set up before this is going to work. So this is in texture.c at location 162. Requires 2 parameters. 162. So options can't be null, so it must be the errors for the path. But the path can't be null either. Let's try to write some things out here then. That doesn't make any sense. Printf texture path. Come on now. This is probably going to crash. Actually, let's do it this way first. Okay. Texture path. Well, both of these seem to have legitimate memory addresses. I don't know what the problem is. This time, I'll try to print the string and see what happens. The right path. Options should be fine unless, well, no, arg count is correct because we made it to this point. Ooh. Does it have something to do with the PNG load function? PNG load. I wonder if I didn't compile SPNG correctly. That's going to be really painful to have to deal with. Okay, we made it that far. Okay. Okay, somewhere before this. It ends up where maybe we start calling the OpenGL functions. Like, let's go right there. Okay, so we get into the OpenGL functions and things start breaking. Okay, so as soon as we start calling GL gen textures, that tells me that maybe somehow my access to the OpenGL library is messed up. I wonder if I'm linking to OpenGL wrong. This is gonna be fun. Let's see. Okay, so glfw, x11, zlib, retype, client config. What about GL? Or Mesa? No. Somewhere else, maybe. Another thing I could do is go into the shell. LLD bin slash stones. Dev, bin dev stones. Oh. It's statically linked. No, LDD, my mistake. Those two programs are too closely named. GL API, that's in Mesa. GL, okay. So we are linking against the OpenGL libraries. I wonder if something else is causing this problem. I don't know that I ever tested image loading after I broke the stuff out to the Substratic library. That's a little bit troublesome. Texture ID. I mean, it's obviously calling other GL functions because I'm rendering, you know. Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. The fonts are being drawn. So that means I must be loading images. Texture load. What is this? PNG load. So, oh, yeah, okay. Well, the font code is actually creating a texture. Gen textures. Is this file doing anything different? That's so weird. Like we are creating textures for the purpose of rendering. Oh wait. Once again, trying to load an image before the engine is fully finished loading is causing the problem. Okay, I got that now. Okay, so now back in screen, I need to use my asset library, I think. So load font, define, oops. Here we go. Define, load, texture, name, path. So we have fonts, we have textures. This is not the right way to do this, but we're doing it. Okay, so existing textures, texture load, path. Take this parameter off. Should abstract this somehow, but whatever. How about this? I'm tired of typing. Font, texture. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So load texture now should be able to do that for us. And also I should wait until we initialize the game. I guess that doesn't really help us here, does it? Back in screen, we're calling way too early to load the texture. Okay, so what if I do screen load? Wait, where is it? Load screen. Okay, that's what we'll do. Should have done that to begin with. Tile texture is false. Then in load screen, I will say if not tile texture, then set tile texture. Ensure that the tile texture is loaded. What I did just now in the asset library probably is not necessary, but you know, actually let's do that anyway. So load texture, tiles. Undefined variable load texture. I did not pull in stones assets. And assets, I need to pull in static texture. Ooh. I don't understand what happened with that. Tiles.png. Why is it getting called twice? Really weird that it's happening more than once. I don't know who's calling it. Maybe I should check who's calling load screen. Oh. Ah, that doesn't happen until it's necessary. It's so weird. Problem opening file. Well, no kidding. Okay. Problem opening file. I just don't get where that could be coming from. Let's see. Alejandro asked him if I'm passing coordinates to the texture load. I don't think so. I know what you mean just by looking at this here, but no, I think that's just garbage text. Okay, so texture load is being called twice. I don't understand what's happening. Let me call it directly. I don't know, something very strange is happening. Which? Expected 1 arguments, but got 0. Let me make a change in the VM code because this is starting to really annoy me. Right here in this error, I want to print the stack. Not the value stack, but the call stack. Call stack. Okay. So then line, I can print call stack here. Hey, there we go. That's helpful. So the call stack is at loop in render game. What am I missing then? Doesn't sound right. Let's see, game.msc render game. haven't changed anything here. Maybe in render screen. Oh, hold up. In VM. Print all stack. Did I already get rid of the frame? Frame count -1. Oh, it's in screen. There it is right there. I forgot to take that out. My mistake. Okay. Expected at least 8 arguments, but got 7. That's probably for the renderer function for rendering the texture. Render, it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that must be that one. Expected at least 8 arguments, but got 7. Okay, I think I must have a bug in the rest argument handling, because in that texture function, or the renderer function, let's see how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What? Oh, texture. No kidding. What was it? Tile texture? Yeah. Tile texture. All right, let's see if we render some stuff on the screen now. Boom. Oh, what is that? That's the fonts rendering. How did they get so messed up? Okay, well, at least we can see that there is some ground. It's not right because I actually made the tile image the wrong size, but at least we have a starting point. That's nice. All right, so let's go and scale this down first of all. Let's see. I saw some scaling stuff somewhere. Sprite size. (320 by 320) method. Bilinear. You know, it might even make it look better. I don't know. I think let's not do that. Undo. Canvas size. Oops. Sprite size. Not bilinear. Let's do nearest neighbor. Hopefully it won't look too bad. Okay, that's acceptable. That's more or less what I had done. I can live with that. This is now 320 by 320, which means the tiles are 32 by 32. Let me go edit my grid size. Frame, no, view, grid settings, 32, 32. There we go. Save the picture. Save it again as tiles.png and replace it. Yes. Now if I reload the game, that's not the right tile. Not at all. But I can see how it's going to look, you know, fairly nice once we get it, get everything going. Okay. So what's going on with the font rendering? Because that's never happened before. Oh, you know what? Did I not set the image back? let's do this out of curiosity. I think that yeah. So because we are rendering another image, I wonder if the font rendering is not setting the texture back correctly, or is using a different shader or something. Because you can see because of the flashing on the screen that the text is changing in what's being rendered, but it's just not being rendered correctly. Another thing I want to check also is, let me do this real quick. Display. Oh, I have a debug function, don't I? Not in this file. Oh, that's correct. That's very correct. Why is it getting the wrong thing? Oh. Ah, that's why. Okay, my mistake. Index -1. Now we should see the right tile show up. Here it is. Looks terrible, but it's, whoa. That is not what I expected to see. That's extremely slow. And if I go back to not rendering the image, something wrong is happening, and I'm not exactly sure how to describe it. So if I go into the font code, GL something. Let's see. Draw. Render text. Font render text. Oops. GL bind texture, but wait. We never binded the texture first. Did I somehow forget to put that in there? That would be really weird if I did. All right, so I'm binding the texture ID first. Wait, renderer, bind texture. Huh. Oh. Draw texture EX, draw texture. Here in font. Current care texture. So this should be taking care of it. Draw args. If draw args dot shader program equals 0. So weird. So we're setting up the draw arguments, setting the shader program to whatever the compiled program goes to, and this is a static, so we always keep that same draw args here for the shader program information. And then we call it draw texture with the texture as a so hold on. Character has a texture. Okay, so why is this not a pointer? I think I was doing some weird things with this library back when I was working on it. Let's see, subs texture, texture.h. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I mean, well, it's not exactly fine, but texture ID, width, height. Does each texture have its own, or each character have its own texture? I think it does. Oops. Let's see. Yeah. Yep. So each has its own. And to render, you have to set the... Yeah, that's a really bad way to do it. I mean, like, it's slow to have to keep changing things in the GPU pipeline. I'm kind of surprised, you know. I mean, it's probably fast enough, but ultimately you would probably throw all these glyphs into one image so that for rendering this font, you just have to refer to one thing. Probably in the future, I would not just load TrueType fonts directly. I would turn them into sprite atlases. But it is a little bit limiting if you want to use extended character sets. So let's see. Hold up. That's wrong. Texture. Ah. What does renderer want? Okay, it wants a pointer to a texture. Okay, I understand. So then back in font, I'll undo the changes I just made because that's right. X, Y, draw args. I don't know why we do the GL bind texture at the end here. It's incredibly slow. Let me go into renderer.c. Static last texture ID equals -1. I don't know if this is going to help. I don't know what the problem is. Probably it's just the way that I'm rendering everything is just really inefficient. I don't know that I've ever rendered this many images on the screen at the same time, so that could just be the case here, is that the renderer is very, very inefficient. All right, last texture ID. GL bind. I don't even know if this is that much of a problem, but I would have to leave that there. What's happening? Okay. If last texture ID is not equal to texture ID. No, it's not any better. I think that it's just super inefficient somehow. Let me try to get rid of the fonts on game. All this text rendering, because something about that is causing trouble. Take it from me, folks. Don't write your own stuff. That's better. The FPS is being rendered probably in main. It's still extremely choppy. Like unbelievably choppy. And if I just go back and not render textures, it's probably fine. The question is, where is it coming from? Is it coming from mesh or is it coming from the renderer? Let's go back to screen and I'll go back and replace this texture draw to a rectangle draw. Still feels slightly choppy, but nothing like it was. But it is a little bit choppy. I just think my rendering code is extremely inefficient because I don't use OpenGL the right way. Let me think about this for a second. So instead of, you know, I'm kind of interested in doing things the right way. Maybe we can just spend some time doing that because I would like for this rendering to be not painfully slow. I would like to actually be using images because at some point I got to start using images in the game. I don't know if let me go back to game. We're going to render some text again. I wonder if there's a shader problem. All right, so tile 1. You see that there. Actually, I can just go undo all the changes I made here. Okay. So all of our text should be back. Also need to go back to the main file and undo that change where we see the FPS. Okay, and then I will go back and turn on the excuse me, the rendering of the texture region. Let's see what shader gets loaded. So we're going to go into render.c, render.c. This was pointless. Let's just undo. Let's undo the things we did here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Default shader program, current shader program. If args is not null, let's see, printf. We should see some variants on the shader program being used. What? Oh, whoops. Just 7. If 1 isn't specified, If shader program is 0. Okay, so arg 7, shader program 7. What about the case when it's not 7? Because we have the default. Let's see, printf loaded default. And let's get rid of that one so we don't get all this spew. Hey Benoit, nice to see you. Args. Oops. Where is all this extra output coming from? What is going on? Okay, so obviously I'm just spewing lines and I don't know where. What changes did I make? Font. Leave that the way it is. Well, we can take it out. That's fine. Load default. So that shouldn't be a problem. Where's all this new line coming from? Probably somewhere in the game code. So let's go back to this. No. Game. Text. Texture. Well, come on. Get rid of that. And then anything else we have, assets, not printing anything here. Okay, so it's running again. I don't understand where the new lines are coming from. Doesn't say anything. Unless maybe. Okay. Make some changes in there. Mesh memory mem to VM star VM. Yes. Mem. I need to change VM star mem to VM. No. It's insane how many lines get written out. Oh, there it is, right there. How did I do that? Interesting. So I think it's a shader. Yeah, you like the music, Benoit? This is a guy named Carl Casey, Karl Casey. It's on Spotify. He's got a lot of copyright-free synthwave music that I like to play on the stream. It's nice. Okay, so let's see. Tile index. Yeah, that's all good. What I was looking for, the one we kind of went on that wild goose chase, I want to see if it loads the default shader. I never see it talk about loading the default shader. I feel like something wrong is happening. Let me go see what the shader is for the font code shader. Shader program. So printf font shader. Okay. Font shader is 7. Never see the default load. It's weird that the texture renders correctly, but the fonts don't now. This shader program is going to tell me 7 the whole time. Shader program equals args shader program. So then, what am I doing to draw textures? Let me go back into texture.msc. No, renderer.msc. Texture region internal. Region in. Oh, okay. It's a different function. That's why we didn't see it. Maybe here? No, right here. I think I saw a loaded default 4. Okay, so it seems that maybe we are using the right shader on both. Okay. Very weird. I don't know why it's blooming like this. It looks like clouds, but it's not clouds. It's a font that's rendering totally incorrectly. The way I see it, it looks like they've been scaled up incredibly. So why would they have been scaled? Maybe some kind of matrix is out of whack? They seem to be getting rendered in the right position on screen, just way too big. I'm not sure what would cause that. I'm very tempted to switch out and use a different rendering library because it's kind of a pain to write your own code for this. As much as it's kind of like a fun idea, like if you really want to get things done, you can't be depending on half-baked code. I've already got enough half-baked code in the language that I'm using that I can't be dealing with this. One thing I could eventually use, I don't think I'll try to switch to it right now, is this Sokol graphics library, which is pretty impressive. It's a single header library that does rendering. Lots and lots of stuff. This file's too big to look at, but if you want to see kind of an idea of what this does. there is a demo page where it's all compiled to WebAssembly. I mean, just look how efficient that is. You can't tell like fully how smooth it is by looking at the stream feed, but it's 60 frames per second on my screen. So, and I think those are, I don't know if those are sprites or if they're actually 3D geometry. But that's quite a lot of things on the screen at one time. So yeah, this library is pretty good, and it compiles to the web also. So that's a kind of a nice thing to have. So I'm considering the possibility of just, you know, consuming this instead of just managing my own thing because it's a headache. My drawing code is just really bad. So I created bindings for my Lisp. Yeah, I have a way to create C native function bindings in C code that get exposed up through the language. Foreign function interface. But it has to be written in C. I can't like define the bindings in mesh yet. It will come at some point, but it doesn't work right now. All right. One more thought on how I could deal with this problem, maybe. Let's just take a look at the code. We set the shader. Let me look at the function that the one that actually is causing issues. Vertex array, vertex buffer, rect element buffer. Let's see. So we set the shader. If the vertex array doesn't exist already, we create it. Yeah, this is really dumb what I'm doing. It's just really, really dumb. We bind the vertex array. Let me just understand what I'm looking at for a second. Projection view model. That's draw rect flow. Where is the texture function? Here we go. Draw texture EX. Let's see. I need to see if the code is exactly the same for these two functions, aside from just the region drawing. Okay, shader program 0. That's different, but it shouldn't matter, I don't think. But maybe it does, actually. So what's different? Vertex array, element buffer, vertices, buffer data, oh, I'm doing it somewhere else. I'm very tempted to try doing something different because this is very annoying. Is there a demo of this? Yeah, this is... Oh, see you, Alejandro. Thanks for joining. So I'm basically just reading the docs here to see if this is going to be easier to pick it up. Cool. Draw an animated rectangle. Draw a filled rec. I wonder if it can do non-filled as well, because that's something that I never got working. Filled rectangle. Okay. Okay, you just draw lines. That's fine. Okay, makes sense. All right. Yeah, I wonder if I could just like look at the code a little bit and see. Probably not going to be that helpful, but. What is this? Vertex shader and fragment shader bytecode for what? may have to think about this. We have two problems at the moment. The reason why I'm looking into this is because, first of all, the way that I'm rendering the fonts is having trouble whenever I'm rendering other textures at the same time. And plus, the speed of this is extremely slow. Feels like I need to be using the graphics pipeline correctly. And I'm not doing that. I'm doing something really dumb. Let me actually see what kind of shaders they have here, because I'm curious what they're doing to render basic stuff. I mean, maybe they're just using arbitrary vertices, but... fragment color. It's a very simple vertex shader. Thanks for subscribing there, Benoit. This is really annoying. I mean, I'm thinking about maybe postponing the graphics part of this, or at least the texture part of this, until next time. We did make some progress drawing some tiles, but we don't actually have the ability to render them correctly yet. So I think what I'm going to do is pop back to the previous way of rendering the screen, just by rendering rectangles, just so we can continue making progress on the game itself, because otherwise we're just not going to get anywhere today. I want to be practical about this. So now that I put the square rendering back, we're back to a state where at least the game plays and we can continue working on it. So rolling back to what I said I wanted to do from the beginning of the stream is I want to start getting the basic game mechanics built out. So that means that we need to be able to find an item in the game world. In fact, let's go back to the org file where I was sort of designing this. So at the peaceful zone location 5-1, so it's this square right here, this part of the map. We need to have it set up so that you have to take some other path to get there. You can't just like walk straight there. So we need this 4-1 screen. If we go back into the game. In fact, we can start just sort of doing this right now, actually. So this is the 4-1 screen. We need a wall here so that you can't proceed. So I'm going to just draw a wall. I'm going to hit tab to go to edit mode. And that should be enough to prevent the player from proceeding. I'll hit control, well, actually it's just S, right? Or control S. Oh, did we never fix that? Damn. So I can't do that anymore, right? Okay. Where was that? Game.msc. Yeah, okay. This is a this was a platformer, but it's sort of like a Metroidvania type thing where you have a world. This is a side view, so you're sort of going back side to side or up and down in these tiles, and you can sort of go down, I guess. All right. What I wanted to do, I remember what I said yesterday. I want to try to break up this input code a little bit to make it more reliable, because right now everything is just totally busted. So if I were to generalize the game event handler code, let's think about, let's see, define, edit for key handler event. And then in the, where is it? Handle game input event. That's where we want to be. There we go. Let's take that, move it up here. Okay. And then for the saving, which is this part, this is what I want to do. We'll just uncomment all this. And save screen, and then return true. Right? Okay. Define apply input handlers. Let loop rest handlers. Oh, and I also need to say input event here. Input event. So if car handlers with input event, then return true. Otherwise, loop cooter handlers. We also need to add an if pair handlers. And that should allow us to have a function that can take a list of handlers and then apply them in order until one of them returns true. So then this editor key handler would be one of those. And in this function, I can just do this apply input handlers. Wow. Emacs did that on its own. Apply input handlers, input event, and then I'll manage this list elsewhere. Define input handlers list, editor key handler. Okay, there's that. And let's do another function for this. This will be the editor mouse handler. What the hell? Actually, maybe we won't do it like that. Oh, okay. I can do it a different way. I don't have to do this check anymore either. I can do it only in one place. Right here, I'll say if equal state editing, then I'll just do this apply input handlers, and I'll say editor input handlers. Go up here and say editor input handlers. Actually, no. That needs to stay there. Check for tile changes. Let's see. Check tile select input event. Not editing handle player input. Okay. Are we toggling edit mode? I'll move that too. So let me grab this, put it down here. So if we're not editing, then we can apply the editor input handlers. And this part can go up in the key handler. Or a separate thing. So what is it? Check tile select input event. All right, so far we're not crashing anymore. Let's see if I can use, oh, I hit tab, put it in edit mode. Undefined variable input event. There we go. Tab, okay. Now Control S, boom. Now I can at least edit the game. So let's go back to the area that I wanted to change. This is going to be in this 4.1. If I hit Tab, I can start drawing out the. Hello. Oh, the clicks aren't working anymore. Great. Let's check that out. Mouse handler, tile select handler. Is tile select handler returning something true? Oh, this needs to be a begin. Otherwise, it will return false. This is wrong also. This is going to be a begin. And then the mouse handler, if input event mouse button down and the input event is the left button. Mouse X, mouse Y. Okay. So that is, what's the function? Apply input handlers. I feel like I did something wrong here. If car handler's input event is true, then return true. Let's just say if not. So if it returns false, then loop to the next, which is to call the same function with the rest of the handlers. Okay, so press tab, click. Clicking is not working again. What about changing tiles? Changing tiles is also not working. Can I even close the game? Wow. The game totally locked up. That was weird. Never seen that before. Let's see. He gets stuck in that loop. Something's very weird here. Let's try this. Apply input handlers. Oh, not clicking works? I don't know what I did wrong. But it's working now. Let's go. Oh, whoops. How did that end up saving? All right, let's go back to tile 0, clear these out. Okay, save that. Now I can go back to running over here. Make sure everything's still there. Okay, cool. Now I'll go do what I intended to do, which was to draw a wall here. Now that's really weird. Why can't I? Oh, it's tile 0. No wonder. All right, so that's their wall. They can't pass that. Okay, they can pass it because my my collision code is terrible. Interesting. We should figure that out. Because you shouldn't just stick to the wall like that. That's not intended behavior. And if you jump, then you just climb the wall, basically. Okay. Edit this a little bit. All right, what else? I need to fix the jumping, that's for sure. If I could think about that for just a second. Player. It's got to be something to do with how I'm stopping the player movement. Check for collision against a wall tile. Okay, so if your velocity is X, green tile wall. So it stops the X movement, but it shouldn't. Oh. I think I should also check for velocity here. It's almost like I need some bounding box collisions here instead of what I'm doing, but if the velocity is positive, meaning they're falling, then stop the player from moving. Oops. Let me just draw a little wall here for testing purposes. Yeah, it shouldn't just stick. Why is that happening? Check for collision against a wall tile. Let's see. Okay. Velocity y is greater than 0. Is it because there's always an acceleration down? If state is jumping, do I never set a different state for the player? Huh. So let's see, set state to jumping, set state to jumping, that's in the controller, set jumping. Okay, I think something's wrong here. If velocity is greater than 0, and they're colliding with the ground, otherwise set them to be jumping. There's a loop here, logic loop. So there's velocity y is 0, set jumping, because there's no collision, I suppose. Okay, I think that's wrong. So maybe there's a little bit more explicit logic needs to be done here. So we need to check if they're colliding with the ground. If we know they're jumping. So maybe that's the thing. We're checking first if they're jumping. If they're standing, we're not checking if they're falling. But then again, that's what allows us to make them fall if they're not currently in contact. So So, okay, let me write this down. When not jumping, check for collision with ground. So that the jumping, falling state can be enabled. If jumping, check for collision with ground to see if we should stop falling. So there's two different checks that are needed. So maybe what we need to do here actually is take this off. We're gonna check for it anyway. Whoops. Oh. So if it's true that they are colliding, then based on what state they're in, we do different behavior. So if equal player state, player jumping, we stop the jumping. Player L Y set. Do I already have that here? No. Player 0. Player state set. Player standing. And that's all good. So if they're jumping, we do that. Otherwise, we... My collision. Did I do that? Oh, okay. I already have that here. So it looks like we... This is the exact same logic I had before. So if equal state jumping, maybe that's it. Nope. Oh, wow. Okay, this is wrong. Because this is for collision. So this needs to be outside of the if. Okay, yeah, that works right again, but still we're getting stuck against the wall, which doesn't make any sense. So technically, oh, I think it's this thing, right? It must be this. This could, yeah, if I'm at, oh, this needs to be recalculated because if I've just fixed my position up here, this map X, map Y is based on the original player XY position. Okay, I need to fix that. So at least this one, since I'm changing it, let's take that and put it right here. Player X player set, what is it? map X. That must be the problem. One of the problems. Come on. Oh, what did I just do? How could I possibly have broken that? Player X player divided by tile size. So we set player X position. Then we set map X. We're trying to replace that value. I don't know why it crashed. It just doesn't seem to make any sense. Okay. Oh, anytime I move left, it crashes. That's not. No idea what that's for. Yeah, if I press left, it crashes. So let me think about why. If I take the set out. Yeah. So somehow setting the map X position back is a bad thing to do. Player X player, whoa. So player X player, here we're setting the player X position to, if you were setting map X with a let binding, is it possible to overwrite that with a set? Yes. In Scheme it is. Division by 0? No, this is a different kind of error in the code. This is some more stupid stuff from the platform. So VM call value, I'm calling a function that's null, which makes no sense. All right, so I'm going to be back in 2 minutes. I'm going to take a break. I'll come right back, and then we'll continue trying to debug this. So I'll be right back. All right. There are some insidious bugs in the language, I think. I don't know why some of these crashes are happening the way they do. Let's delete this line. What up? So I took that display out. Now it doesn't crash anymore. So I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Some weird stuff happening. I have a lot of work to do to stabilize the language and what it's doing on the inside, because it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so jumping works now. But that sticking to the wall still happens. So where am I stopping the movement? Another one. I might need to move this into its own function. I think that there's some, I'm hitting some limit with the language. Let's see, define, check, falling collision. Let's see what variables we need, or what parameters we need to the function. So screen, map X, map Y, state. Player. That seems to be it. So I'll go screen, player, map X, map Y. Okay. Yeah, I think that the size of functions is causing problems. So that logic is working right, except for the ability to be falling. Like right here, there should be nothing preventing the player from falling. So maybe I should be checking which map X is being looked at. So let's see if we landed. Let's print out the position. Display cons map X, map Y. $22.14. This is $23.14. I should also check. Let's see. 22.14. I'm checking for map X plus 1. That's not right, actually. That's incorrect. Okay. So let's see. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm doing a very simplistic job of checking for collisions against tiles. I'm looking at tile position only, and I'm not looking at all the possible dimensions where I could be colliding with a tile. So for movement on X, I need to use the top tile that the player is in and the bottom tile, but they could be the same if the player fits within one tile. Same thing for movement on Y. Need the left tile and right tile. They could be same if the player fits within the tile. So I need 2 more values here, or at least on this one, I probably just need the bottom Y. So I could say left X, right X. So map Y, left X, and then this is not add anymore, this is right X. And it could be that they are exactly the same, which is interesting. Okay. Not exactly sure the right logic here. I kind of want to avoid doing the same check twice, but maybe it doesn't matter. Excuse me. Or maybe this function should not be concerned with that, and it should just look at a particular XY location. That seems more costly. So and equal left X, right X. This is gonna return false if left X and right X are the same, which is fine because this would have returned true if left X had returned true. So I think this is good. So and equal left X, right X. No, that would be not equal. Okay. Now for check falling collision, left X, right X, bottom Y. So we're gonna spread this out a little bit. Left X, and then right X is going to be the player X plus tile size. And then top Y and bottom Y. Player Y plus tile size. Because right now the player size and the tile size are the same. At some point in the future we may need to change those. In fact, maybe it's better if I have a player size. I should be using that. Oops. Okay, so that looks better. That's okay. So now instead of using map X, map Y, I should use left X and right X. And then this also needs to be top and bottom. For now, we will call it top, but that's wrong. So we'll have to fix that. Actually, it's going to be a problem. Let's call it bottom. Let's call it bottom for now. This may actually be not perfect too, because if you're at position 0 and you add 32, then you're gonna end up in the next tile. So I might need to subtract the player size by 1, which is a little unfortunate, but I might regret this later, but we'll see. because the size is based on 1 and the position is based on 0, I think I should shift that to make sure everything works correctly. Okay, so let's go with this for now. Left X, right X, bottom Y on both those. Map X. Set left X, right X. Yeah, this is a little bit unfortunate, but that's okay. Okay, and then this. And now I have left X, right X, bottom Y, map X. All right, so I have that one. Player X set. Yeah. Yes. Wait, what? Player X set, player times left X plus 1. Okay, whatever. Or if you're moving left, okay, I think that's fine. So map X, map Y, I think we've gotten rid of those. Let's see what happens. Crash. Map X is somewhere. Right here. Okay, so find activated portal. Yeah, man. Need a more general way to deal with this, I think. Because portals are the shape of a tile. Well, at least for now. There'll be something else later, but maybe I should be checking that differently. So find activated portal. Portal will eventually have a rectangle, which could be bigger than a tile, so maybe I should be passing in the player position instead and calculating based on that, but screen portal at position. You would need to check, especially for all 4 directions. Check for top and bottom when vel X is greater than 0. Well, it's not 0. Check for left and right when vel Y not equal to 0. So I guess I could just add checks on all those. But this becomes more complicated because I have to use screen portal at position for, yeah. Let's just do this. Left X, right X, top Y, bottom Y. Vel X, vel Y. Let's break this down into multiple lines too. There's too many parameters. Fix that. Okay, so That will tell us if we found a portal. So if velocity x is less than 0, then check for screen portal position. This is probably going to be an OR here. Screen portal position, screen. Left x, top y. It's kind of horrible. Bottom y. Okay. And if screen x is bigger than 0, then right x and top y, or and then clone that, and then use bottom y. Let's see how bad this function crashes now. Uh, 83. Hey, great. But now, check falling collision. Map y. Okay, so let's change map y to bottom y. Yeah, I think I need to put top y in there too. Check falling collision, top y. The reason why is because whenever we want to set the position, screen, tile, ground. Oh, actually, maybe just bottom y. Let's try that first. Oh, and then falling. Let's say top here. Why can't I jump? All right, so at least left and right collision is working, but I can never leave the ground. I think it's because I must be adding one to something somewhere. Jumping. Player Y velocity set. Player vel Y. Blah, blah, blah. Player Y. Okay. We turn jumping on. And then it lands immediately. Landed. Okay, here we are. So check for collision against a ground tile. We don't want bottom Y plus 1. We want just bottom Y. And bottom Y. Okay, that's probably what happened. Oh, wow. If screen tile ground, left X bottom Y, right X bottom Y. Did it happen as soon as I jumped that I fell through the floor? No, it happened immediately, period. Why does it say I was jumping? So create player, state standing. I'm standing to start with. Let's see, what was the output? So jumping. Screen tile ground, screen left X. So if there's no ground tile at left X and right X, bottom Y. Maybe I should print those out. Display bottom Y. Okay, so if at first it was 17 and then it changed to 18. So let me check. Whoops, no, don't do that. So 17 is this tile, 18 is this tile. So we were at 17. Bottom was at 17. Maybe we do need, well, let me think about this for a second. Okay, I fixed it. Interesting. Okay, so I can hit the wall and then go down now at least, but now walking is very strange. I think I'm checking something below when I shouldn't be. So let's check the collision for. Actually, let's see what this does. I'm gonna start walking. Oh, I'm getting into a weird loop of jumping and landing when I shouldn't be. So when I calculate the bottom Y, I'm still doing the player size -1 calculation, but I wonder if I shouldn't. Let's try that. Okay, that seems stable. Why can't I move left or right though? Okay. Cool. So then the jumping seems okay. Now I need to fix the walking. And that's this part. So maybe I should move this into its own function also, because check walking collision. Screen, player, left X, right X. If I do that though, I can't update the position. After I stop moving. All right, so if velocity is less than 0, I think I need to do an OR here also. That's kind of why bottom Y should be -1. I think I see what's happening. So if I were to write that down, when checking for falling, it makes sense to have the bottom Y be at the full extent of the player so that we always find the floor under their feet. But when walking, Maybe we do want it to be the same. So I don't know if that's going to help here, though. Like if I made this not -1. What I need, though, okay, so the key here is that the horizontal movement, I don't want to, I want that -1 for the horizontal movement, but let's see. Maybe this will help. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's a lot of calculations to be doing every frame. Yeah, it's another place where I'm busting the size of the function, I think, and it starts doing really unusual behavior. Hello, Cable Car Digital. Nice to see you. Let's see. It's such a touchy situation to make this work. So it's almost like both of these checks need to have their own calculated values. Well, the left and right can be fine, but the bottom value might need to be different for each. Let me get rid of this. Maybe get rid of that. Yeah, it's not that specifically that's a problem. I think it's the fact that I introduced this less bottom Y. Yeah, I can't walk. The snapping I don't like either. It's only happening because I'm hitting the tile below. Maybe when I do this check, I should actually be... I think I got to do this differently, period. I should put this in a function and see what happens. Check moving collision. I don't know. Not really walking. Screen, player, left X, right X, top Y, bottom Y. Okay. We're going to make another function up here. Check moving collision. Velocity X, velocity Y, I need. Or just velocity X, yeah. Okay. We'll pass that in right where? Here? Yeah. Vel X. Okay, so at least the code works. So then, I need to calculate my own bottom Y. So what if I did that? If I took this calculation, Now, I already have the player, so I don't need either top Y or bottom Y anymore. I can just calculate it myself. And for falling, oh, this is the wrong function. I suppose it's fine to do that, but this is not the function I meant to do this in. I'll do that though. I'll copy and paste this into the other. We'll just take top and bottom Y out. And then moving collision, I'll take these two out. Now I can walk again. Now I can jump again. And if I can jump into the wall and fall. Okay, so the falling didn't work perfectly because of a snap. That was kind of a weird little snap. Hey, Alex. Yeah, that was a nice little snap. That's not good. Huh. Okay, I think that my resetting is a little bit off. So I think it's probably the logic I added in the moving collision. So if velocity x, yeah, let's check that again. I want to see if I can figure out what the pattern is. If I'm moving to the right, okay, if I'm moving to the right, it goes the wrong way. Set left X, set right X. I don't need to do that anymore. But I do need to set the X position correctly. If less than vel x 0, then we need to figure out what the right tile position is. It would be plus left x 1. Otherwise, it's going to be minus right x1. Okay, I think that's right. And then we'll take this out, and we're going to multiply it by tile size. I think that's right. No. Well, I think it's when jumping. I don't know why we snap when jumping. So I land here. It's when I land. Why is landing setting the X position? That's really weird. This is right, I think. I mean, you're setting the top Y to the... you're setting the top Y to be the Y position that's above where the player currently is. So I think that's fine. Hey, Felipe. Collision resolution. Oh, well, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Oh, you're saying it's coming from the collision resolution? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why... Is it because I put my position, yeah, I think it's because I'm moving at the same time. So if I'm moving in the X, if I'm moving positive velocity X, it doesn't do it. Maybe I got something backwards. Yeah, it's resolving to the next tile, but only when I land on it. Because if I'm just walking, it doesn't do anything. And if I walk up against the wall, it stops the movement just fine. Yeah, pushes it backwards. I don't know which. Let's see. Maybe I just need to log some stuff. What do they say here? Jumping, collided with wall. Let's jumping. I'm not gonna do that anymore. Okay, so I saw that collided with wall. So it says collided with wall first. I wonder if it's because I didn't reset the position of Y first. Yeah, which dimension should be checked first? Is it the X or the Y? Maybe the Y, because excuse me, because it affects the X calculation. So let's do that first then. I'll do the check falling collision before the check moving collision and see if that helps. All right, that seems to have solved a good part of it. But then I have the same issue on the x-axis because of the adjustment. So I mean, I think the adjustment is the problem. So that yeah, and then this thing where it sort of like steps up onto the block, it shouldn't step up like that. But this looks pretty smooth now, at least the landing. Aside from just that little bit. And I can still climb over the wall. So if I jump and hold to the left, I can hang on the wall, basically. I mean, that's kind of cool, but it's not what I intended. Let's see. So I'm colliding with the wall while jumping. So it says collided with the wall and landing. So first it collided with the wall. And it reset the position, but I didn't recalculate these things. I think I just need to recalculate them for both the collisions. Okay, well, it's unfortunate, but it's necessary because otherwise the values get out of sync, I think. So what I'm gonna do is go into the falling collision. Let left, well, hold on. Yeah, there we go. Just like that. How can I land on the vertical face whenever I don't manage my collision code correctly? All right, so left X, right X. This may still, I may still need to recalculate all this for both. So falling collision. Let's see what this does. Still does the same thing. Yeah, okay. Well, unfortunately, I have to do it, so. Well, I'll calculate it slightly differently for both, maybe. Wait. In wall collision, I do zero the x velocity. Yeah, right here I'm setting the velocity to 0 and the acceleration is 0. And I set the position based on which side they collided with. So I sort of reset their x position. Let me check something. Oh, I broke something. I think that's right. Okay. Yeah, if I just hold the button down, then I get a bunch of messages that it collided with the wall. That's fine. If I jump and hit the wall, excuse me. I don't know if the collided with the wall happens. Let's see. First collided with the wall, then landed. No. Okay, so when falling, if I haven't yet checked whether we've collided with the wall on the side, it's almost like I have to do all this at the same time for it to work correctly. Because I have to make sure that the X position is reset correctly. Before I check whether I can be standing on a tile. Probably a canonical way to do this in game development. Let's see. Checking collision, platformer, tile map. Sweep tests. Connecting these starting and ending rectangles into a polygon and testing each tile for whether it contains any part of that hexagon. Okay. So it sounds like this check collision of the shape generated by the moving object with all the tiles, something like the picture below. Okay. I think this is really only necessary if you're moving really fast. The way they reformatted this website does not work well with old blog posts. You have only box collisions, right? Why don't you just check the Euclidean distance between the tiles is less than the diagonal of the square character? Well, what you're saying might be right, but at the moment, my brain is not absorbing it. Good question. Alex says, am I using the current position or next? I think it's the next. I think I must have already been moving the velocity before. So update player, yeah, see right here. An update player. So wait a second, hold up. What am I doing here? Okay, yeah. So it's next position. And then I start doing the collision checks. Anyway, let me just get back into it because I need to think a little bit about it. Don't have a whole lot of time left. It's not the most important thing to be spending my time on anyway, but since we've only got 15 minutes, might as well just look at it a little bit longer. So I think what may be happening is that the that's pretty funny. I wonder if it's the top Y that's catching it. Landing should only be on the bottom Y. But I don't know why it puts it higher. So let me check. Maybe I did something wrong there. Because I'm setting it like this. Yeah, I think it's because it gets stuck and it just keeps thinking it's colliding with the floor. I'm only looking at bottom Y on the left or right side. So in this case, right X and bottom Y is finding a ground tile. Right X in this case is being calculated on demand. So we're getting the latest position X. That's before having it be adjusted. Maybe, I did the -1 here. Maybe I'm correcting from the wrong XY. And I think that there's just like a slight issue going on here where the the new X is momentarily greater than the, let's see, I already write it down. Here, let me check what the value is. So, landed on 22. It's actually weird because it shouldn't be landing on 22, it's 23. Did I do a +1 somewhere? This is falling. Oh, put the wrong one. Right X. Yeah, 23. So, yeah, this is really lame. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so that works fine. Throw a little margin in there. Kind of lame, but let's see. Squeeze. I can't type anymore because it's been a long day. What I should be doing is using a more mathematical approach like what Felipe is recommending here. Wow, that is some really interesting behavior. What the hell? Oh, and I fall through the floor because of the changes I made. Damn. All right, I really broke it now. Okay, so it doesn't let me climb the wall anymore for one thing. That's good. Yeah, I can't climb the wall. That's awesome. Yeah, at least this is good, but the other side, not so good. If I could get on the other side of that wall. Here, let's do a little game hack. I'm gonna remove the wall so I can walk through, and then we're gonna see what this does. Oh yeah. Can I just add 1 to the size? I don't know. Something is weird. No, wrong. Oh, that's why I was wrong, because I'm an idiot. 3. Just add 3 to the player X. I was adding player size too. That was totally wrong. Okay, that seems a lot better. Hacky. Very hacky, but it feels reliable. Yes, exactly. Make the level always scroll to the right. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It's like emergent game design. Whoa, check that out. Okay, so that's fine. I have not added proper upwards collisions. Only down. Which I need to do because obviously you can't be jumping through the ceiling in this game. Let's go over to this next screen. Yeah, so at least you can't jump through the wall. Cool. Let's stop all the collided prints. Let's see. That was weird. I couldn't walk at the very beginning. Okay. Must have been a fluke. I can bunny hop here. I need to make it. Whoa, whoa. What did I just do? I jumped off the screen. Yeah. That's another problem. The portals that go through the screens, you can jump over them. Yeah, Alex is speaking like a true speedrunner. He's like, you gotta leave those zips in there for the speedrunners. Yeah. The game is not gonna be long enough to even matter from that perspective. Okay. And this wall I can't get over anymore. That's fine. All right. Let's see. So for It's more like jumping collision, moving collision, jumping collision. I need to make sure that I'm not going to hit my head. Let me get ready to stage some of this stuff because I don't want to lose what I've done so far. I got a lot of stuff I haven't checked in yet. All this failed UI framework. Okay. Let's just check in some game data. Template file. I don't want to check in the asprite file. I don't know how big that is. Let's see. How big is this? Okay, it's not that big. We'll leave it there. Screw it, I'll just put that in there too. Okay. How big is that file? 84K? Jeez. I'll leave that one alone for now. All right, let's check this stuff in. So, saving and loading map files, loading screens from paths, working cross-screen portals. All right. Initial work on tile sprites. I'll just push that. Well, actually, let's leave it for a minute. For those of you who weren't here earlier, I was using asprite to draw some tiles, but we didn't get to use them because something about my OpenGL rendering code is so inefficient and causes very strange issues. In fact, I could probably just show you since you're here now. Where was that at? In screen. So if I go uncomment this line and then comment out this line, now, excuse me, now I'm going to be rendering an actual image for the tiles. So you can see the tile image is there, but the font rendering is totally screwed up. Whoa, why is the performance so much better now? I didn't do anything. Huh, okay, well at least the rendering is a lot smoother, but the fonts are totally screwed up. I have no idea why all of a sudden it does that after starting to render textures. Maybe I can actually render textures then. I was a little bit confused earlier because the performance was insanely bad. Yeah, gremlins indeed. It doesn't make any sense what happened. I can see a little bit of hitching. That was a nice little... Hold on, check this out. Where was it? Yeah, I hit like a little angle on that where it launched me over the top. Yeah, I can't do it again. Anyway. That's funny. Yeah, lots of fun stuff to work through. Maybe I'll check that in then. I'll leave it as part of the commit. Because it seemed to be working this time. I don't know why all of a sudden it's working, but it is working. I can't even see the FPS because the font doesn't render correctly. Actually, no. Let's take that back out. Whoa. All right, I'm gonna go back and put that back in the commit. All right. So, tasks. Let me update the README and put the right tasks in for next time. Ability to change map tiles to draw. Yeah, we did that. We're not gonna do the text prompts. Create and edit portals between screens. We're not gonna do that either. So, let's see. Backlog. Is that after off-screen tasks? Okay. And design. This whole thing should be somewhere else, I think. Whoops. Just put this up here. All right, so reading and writing from mesh data from files. I had already done that. Well, more or less. Improving collision detection. Fix upward collision detection. So we'll put that back up here. Fix font rendering when we draw map tiles. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And anything else? Oh yeah, we never did get to rendering and picking up stones on the appropriate screens. Dropping off stones back at the main screen. Yeah, we're not gonna make it very far in this game, but ultimately my goal is to continue working on the game after the competition is over, not with like a, you know, super high intensity to try to release a game, but more as a way to use various game projects as a way to drive development in the language and tools, because I find so many more weird issues while working on games than I do on any other code I've written with Mesh. So it's a good way to flush out problems. And also, eventually, some of these games I'm going to ship. It's just a matter of, you know, getting better at game development and trying to figure out the right patterns to use in the language, because some of the stuff I'm doing right now is really inefficient and bad, and need to spend some more time hacking on stuff. Next year, probably in I would say the second half of the year, the game jams that we do, we're going to go a lot better because I'm going to have a lot more stuff figured out, and the code will be a lot higher quality. So we won't have to deal with so many weird issues. Like this game jam has been a total failure from the perspective of the amount of time I've had to waste looking into dumb problems that shouldn't happen to begin with. Like if I had used any other language that is stable, I would have been way farther along than this. Like if I had written this in some other scheme implementation, probably, then it would have been way better. But part of the point is to use my own language. So next week is the last week, and I won't be working on the game until the weekend. So next weekend really is the last 2 days we have to work on this stuff. So all I would really like to do is make it so that you could pick up one stone, take it back to the starting area of the game, and sort of win. We could try to build out the other parts of the game, but I don't think we'll have time because, you know, 8 hours in a weekend is not a lot of time to make progress on a game. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But, you know, it's been nice to work on this. It's been nice that all of you have been coming and joining and watching the stream. So I really appreciate that. And like I said, next year we'll do a lot better on these things because we'll have a lot more stuff figured out. I'll also have practiced a little bit more on pixel art and making audio for games. So maybe we'll have higher quality output as well. But anyway, that's all the time I have for today. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate the support. And hopefully you'll come back next weekend. Same time. It's going to be 11 a.m. UTC, Saturday and Sunday for both. And then after that, we call it done for that. And probably won't be doing another game jam until, I would say, next April. I think that's when there's a Ludum Dare in January. I'm going to skip that one. But the next time I'll do it. I think April or May. So I'll do it at that point. Anyway, thanks, folks. I hope you all have a great weekend. Yep, Ace Buff, you came in a little bit late, but that's okay. Maybe next time you'll be here. All right, we'll see you next time. Until then, be creative. Thanks.